Hello there, and welcome to the Sleeping Science Bedtime. Tonight we'll drift through the quiet architecture of the human sensorium, the hidden biological bridge that turns the raw energy of the universe into the soft, intimate experience of your own life. Perhaps the day has been full of noise, and your mind is still vibrating with the echoes of many tasks and voices. Let your shoulders rest. Let gravity hold you against the surface of the world, just as it has always done. Tonight, we'll drift through the quiet laws of perception, watching how your body gathers the light, the heat, and the air to remind you that you belong here. If this calm space brings you peace, consider sharing it. It helps other wandering minds find their way here too. Now let's begin. The world is a vast sea of signals, a constant rain of energy that never truly stops, even when the lights grow dim. You are lying in the center of this movement, a quiet observer equipped with billions of specialized gateways, designed to translate the invisible into the known. Every moment, the air around you carries secrets in the form of pressure waves and chemical traces, waiting for the touch of a cell to become a thought. This is the threshold of perception, the thin line where the exterior universe meets the interior self. It is a gentle meeting, a conversation that has been happening since the moment you were born, and still, it turns. Consider the surface of your skin, a vast and sensitive map that defines the boundary of where you end and the room begins. Beneath the layers of your cooling exterior, millions of mechanoreceptors are resting, yet they remain perfectly tuned to the weight of your blanket. These tiny structures do not think, they simply feel, turning the mechanical push of fabric into a steady stream of reassurance. They are the silent witnesses to the pressure of the earth holding you up, ensuring you never feel adrift. The sensation is not an event, but a continuous state of being, held, and the quiet holds. Within this landscape of touch, there are specialized fibers that speak only of warmth and the cooling of the evening air. Thermoreceptors sit nestled in the dermis, monitoring the dance of moving molecules as they transfer heat away from your skin. As the room settles into the night, these cells fire in a slow, rhythmic cadence, signaling to your brain that it is time to conserve energy. There is no urgency in this data, only the honest report of a body finding its equilibrium with the shadows. You can feel the temperature softening as the world exhales its heat. Peace hums through the body. The air you breathe is more than just oxygen. It is a library of the environment, carrying microscopic particles of wood, rain, or distant flowers. As you inhale, these molecules drift toward the olfactory bulb, a delicate protrusion of the brain that sits just above the bridge of your nose. Here, chemoreception occurs, a lock-and-key mechanism where matter meets mind, in a silent, chemical embrace. A single scent can reconstruct a memory before you even name it, pulling the past into the present through a simple puff of air. It is the most ancient way of knowing the world, and life adjusts once more. Deep within the temple of your ear, the atmosphere is being transformed from vibration into music. The air in the room ripples with the sound of your own breath, sending waves that strike the thin, silken membrane of the eardrum. This tiny drum translates the invisible movement of gas into the physical motion of 3 small bones, the smallest in your entire body. They move with a precision that defies description, a mechanical ballet performed in total darkness. They bridge the gap between the chaos of the wind and the order of your mind. Still, the rhythm continues. Beyond those bones lies the cochlea, a spiral chamber filled with a fluid that mirrors the salinity of the ancient seas. As the vibrations travel through this liquid, they ripple over. Thousands of microscopic hair cells, bending them like tall grass in a summer breeze. This bending is the moment of transduction, where the physical world is finally traded for the electrical language of the nerves. Every low hum and high whistle is sorted here, mapped out along the curve of the spiral. It is a landscape of sound, resting in the architecture of your skull, and everything rests in its place. Even with your eyes closed, the world does not disappear. It simply changes its frequency. Your retinas are still active, populated by millions of rods and cones that are the most sophisticated light sensors in the known galaxy. Even through the thin veil of your eyelids, you can sense the shift of a passing shadow or the dim glow of a street lamp. These cells are waiting, absorbing the stray photons that have traveled through the void to reach you. They turn the electromagnetic spectrum into a visual story, a tapestry of depth and color. The quiet rhythm of the deep endures. The process of seeing is not a passive reception, but an active filtering of the infinite. Your brain chooses which glimmers of light to prioritize, discarding the noise to find the shape of the familiar. In the darkness, your rods take over, sensitive enough to detect a single photon, the smallest unit of light possible. This sensitivity is a gift from your ancestors, a way to navigate the forest floor by the light of distant stars. It is a profound connection to the cosmic fire, filtered through biological glass, and light drifts onward. Taste is a more intimate sense, requiring the physical presence of the world to be brought inside the self. On your tongue, gustatory cells are arranged in small clusters, each one tuned to a specific chemical signature: sweet, salty, sour, or bitter. When you swallow, these cells send a burst of information to the brain, reporting on the chemistry of the Earth's bounty. This sense is a guardian, a way for the body to recognize what will nourish it and what should be avoided. It is a slow, methodical checking of the world's ingredients. Stillness travels through the water. There is a sixth sense that often goes unnamed, though it is the very foundation of your physical peace. Proprioception is the body's internal map, the constant awareness of where your limbs are positioned without needing to look at them. This sense relies on tiny sensors hidden within your muscles and tendons, reporting on the tension and angle of every joint. It is what allows you to feel the weight of your hands resting by your side, or the curve of your spine against the mattress. It is the sense of self-location in space, and the network endures. This internal map is what allows you to feel grounded, even as the Earth spins at 1,000 miles per hour. Your vestibular system, located in the inner ear, uses gravity as a compass, monitoring the tilt of your head with every breath. Tiny crystals of calcium carbonate sit atop gelatinous layers, shifting with the pull of the planet to tell you which way is up. Even in the stillness of sleep, your body is checking its alignment with the center of the world. You are never truly lost when you have the Earth's pull to guide you. The orbit holds. The nervous system acts as a grand conductor, integrating these billions of signals into a single, seamless flow of experience. It does not present you with a list of data points. It gives you the feeling of a cool breeze or the comfort of a heavy quilt. This synthesis is the true miracle of the sensorium, the ability to turn 1,000 disparate inputs into one feeling of being alive. Your brain is a weaver, taking the threads of light and sound and weaving them into the fabric of your consciousness, and the quiet deepens. Every signal that enters your body is a form of energy being borrowed from the universe. The heat from the sun, the vibration of a voice, the chemical bonds in a piece of fruit, all are transformed, but none are lost. This is the law of thermodynamics applied to the soul, where the world is constantly pouring itself into you to be processed and understood. You are a vessel for the universe to perceive itself, a biological mirror held up to the infinite. It is a responsibility that requires nothing but your presence. And still it turns. As you drift deeper into this reflection, notice how the sensations of the room begin to blur together. The sound of the clock, the texture of the sheets, and the dimness of the light become a single, soft background. This is the beginning of sensory habituation, where the brain decides that the environment is safe enough to stop monitoring every detail. The gates begin to close, one by one, as the need for data gives way to the need for rest. You are retreating from the world into the sanctuary of the self, and everything softens. The threshold of perception is lowering now, like the tide receding from a quiet shore. The signals are still there, but they no longer demand your attention. They are merely the ambient hum of existence. You can feel your heart beating, a sensation known as interoception, which is the body's way of listening to its own internal rhythms. This internal sense is the most private of all, the secret dialogue between your organs and your mind. It is the steady drumbeat of your own continuity. Still, the universe breathes. Within your chest, The vagus nerve is sending signals of calm, slowing the pulse and deepening the breath. This nerve is the highway of the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest mode that allows the body to repair itself. It is the biological physicalization of peace, a physical cord that connects your brain to your heart and lungs. As it activates, the tension in your jaw dissolves, and the small muscles around your eyes begin to relax. The body is reclaiming its energy for the work of the night. Quietly, the system restores itself. Consider the microscopic scale of this restoration, where cells are being replenished and neural pathways are being pruned. The brain uses the quiet of the night to organize the sensory data of the day, filing away the important lessons and clearing out the static. This is the housekeeping of the mind, a process that requires the senses to go dim so the interior work can begin. You are not losing the world, you are simply stepping into the archives to organize your memories. The current flows without effort. The stillness of your room is not empty. It is full of the potential for tomorrow's perceptions. Every surface is waiting to be touched again. Every color is waiting for the morning sun to reveal it once more. But for now, the sensory gates are draped in a soft velvet curtain. The chemical receptors on your tongue are resting. The hair cells in your ears are standing still, and the rods in your eyes are cooling. You have gathered enough for today, and the harvest is complete, and peace lingers. There is a profound humility in the way our bodies serve us, processing millions of bits of information without ever asking for our help. We do not have to tell our retinas how to catch the light, or our skin how to feel the warmth. They simply do it, out of a biological loyalty to our survival. This realization allows for a deep sense of safety, a knowledge that you are being looked after by the very cells that make you. You are a collaborative effort of billions of tiny lives, all working in harmony. And the rhythm continues. The boundary between the observer and the observed is thinner than we think. When you feel the weight of the air, you are interacting with the atmosphere of a planet. When you hear a sound, you are touching the movement of the universe. The senses are not walls, but windows, wide, clear openings that remind us we are never truly alone. We are always in conversation with the physical laws of reality, even in the deepest silence of the night. It is a beautiful, unending dialogue. And still, it turns. As the mind let go of the specific, it begins to drift into the general sense of being. You are no longer a person listening to a story. You are a presence within a room, a collection of senses resting in the dark. The labels of the world fall away, the names of things, the meanings of sounds, the purposes of objects. All that remains is the raw, soft texture of existence. This is the state of sensory homeostasis, where the internal and external worlds are in perfect balance. Stillness widens its reach. The nerves that carry signals from your feet to your brain are long, silken threads, some stretching over 3 feet in length. They are the longest cells in the body, conduits for electrical impulses that travel at hundreds of miles per hour. Right now, they are quiet, carrying only the faint, steady signal of the bed beneath you. There is no fire to run from, no cold to avoid. There is only the peaceful report of safety. You can feel the length of your legs, the stillness of your toes, and the quiet returns. Your brain is a master of adaptation, capable of tuning out the sound of a fan or the hum of a refrigerator so that you can find the silence. This ability to ignore the constant is what allows us to focus on the change. But tonight, we embrace the constant. The steady, unchanging environment is a lullaby for the nervous system, a signal that the world is stable and predictable. You can trust the silence because it is the evidence of a world at rest. And everything rests. Think of the way a forest settles at night, the leaves stopping their rustle and the animals finding their burrows. Your body is its own kind of forest, a complex ecosystem of pathways and signals that is now settling into its own nocturnal rhythm. The chemical signals for alertness are fading, replaced by the gentle rise of melatonin, the hormone of the dark. It flows through your bloodstream like a quiet river, dousing the fires of the day's activity. The rhythm of the deep endures. In this state, the sense of time begins to stretch and warp as the brain stops tracking the seconds and starts following the breath. Without the constant input of visual changes or social interactions, time loses its sharp edges, becoming a soft, fluid medium. A minute and an hour feel the same when you are anchored in the present moment of your own biology. You are drifting away from the clock and toward the timelessness of the cellular world. And still, the universe breathes. The neurons in your cerebral cortex, which spend the day analyzing complex patterns, are now firing in slow, synchronized waves. These are delta waves, the deep rolling swells of the sleeping brain. They move through the tissue like the heavy pulse of a distant ocean, washing away the clutter of the waking mind. This synchronization is a form of neural harmony, a moment where the entire brain speaks in a single unified voice of rest. It is the ultimate integration of the self and the quiet holds. You may feel a slight heaviness in your limbs, a sensation often called sleep pressure. This is the physical accumulation of adenosine in the brain, a byproduct of the day's energy use that signals the urgent need for replenishment. It is a benevolent weight, a hand on your shoulder telling you that you have done enough. As this pressure builds, the transition from sensing the world to dreaming the world becomes effortless. The bridge is ready to be crossed, and peace hums through the body. The dream world is the only place where the senses operate without the need for external stimuli. In sleep, your brain will recreate the smell of rain, the sight of a loved one, and the feeling of flying, all using the archives of the data you have gathered. This is the second life of the sensorium, the creative reimagining of reality that happens behind closed eyes. Your body stays still, but your senses continue their dance, exploring the infinite possibilities of the mind. The network endures. Rest now, knowing that your connection to the world is secure and that your senses will be waiting to greet the morning with fresh curiosity. The light will return, the air will warm, and the song of the world will begin its next verse. You are a part of that song, a vital note in the harmony of the living. For tonight, let the silence be your blanket and the rhythm of your heart be your guide, and everything rests in its place. And everything rests in its place as the heavy gears of daily awareness begin to disengage. The brain's thalamus, often called the gateway to the consciousness, starts to narrow its aperture, acting as a gentle filter for the incoming streams of the world. This small, walnut-shaped structure sits deep in the center of your mind, deciding which whispers of the room are worth passing on and which can be allowed to fade into the background. It is the curator of your reality, and right now, it is choosing silence, the doorway between the outer world and your inner dreamscape is softening, and the quiet holds. Consider the microscopic anatomy of a single touch, the way a fingerprint ridge deforms against the cotton of a pillowcase. This mechanical displacement triggers a cascade of electrical shifts within a Pacinian corpuscle, a specialized nerve ending wrapped in layers like a tiny onion. These layers act as a shock absorber, ensuring that the nerve only responds to the beginning and end of a touch, allowing you to forget the feeling of your clothes once you have settled. This elegant adaptation prevents the mind from being overwhelmed by constant, unchanging data. It allows the background to become a sanctuary, and light drifts onward. The fluid within your semicircular canals is coming to a complete rest, finding its level in the gravity of the evening. These 3 loops of bone, oriented in different planes of space, are the primary reason you feel the stability of the horizon, even when your eyes are shut. Within them, microscopic stones called otoliths settle into their lowest positions, signaling to the brain that the movement of the day has concluded. There is no more acceleration to track, no more turns to navigate. There is only the steady, downward pull of the earth. The orbit holds. Within the darkness of your mouth, the salivary glands slow their production, following the signals of the circadian clock. The taste buds, which have spent the day distinguishing the bright acidity of fruit or the savory depth of a meal, are now entering a state of quiet maintenance. These cells have a remarkably short lifespan, constantly regenerating themselves every few days to ensure your connection to the chemistry of food remains sharp. In the stillness of the night, the birth of new cells proceeds without interruption, preparing for the flavors of tomorrow. Stillness travels through the water, Your respiratory system is shifting into its nocturnal cadence, a slow and rhythmic expansion that is regulated by the brainstem. This part of the brain monitors the concentration of carbon dioxide in the blood with exquisite precision, adjusting the depth of each breath to maintain a perfect internal chemistry. You do not have to think about the oxygen moving into your lungs or the way it finds its way into the tiny sacs of the alveoli. It is a process of effortless exchange, a constant giving and taking with the air around you, and the breath holds its rhythm. Beneath the surface of your skin, the microcirculation of your blood is being redirected toward the internal organs and the brain. The capillaries in your extremities may dilate slightly, releasing the last of the day's trapped heat into the bedding. This gentle thermal shift is one of the primary triggers for deep sleep, as the core body temperature must drop by a degree or two to initiate the repair cycles of the night. You can feel this warmth leaving you, a slow dissipation of energy into the surrounding dark, and everything softens. The olfactory nerves, the only part of the central nervous system that is in direct contact with the outside world, are resting in the cool shadows of the nasal cavity. Unlike other senses that must travel through many relay stations, the sense of smell goes directly to the emotional centers of the brain. This is why a scent can feel like a feeling before it feels like a thought. Tonight, the air is neutral and calm, providing a clean slate for the mind to rest upon. The chemical world has gone quiet, and peace lingers. In the silence, you might become aware of the faint rhythmic thrumming of your own pulse in your ears. This is the sound of the carotid arteries carrying life-sustaining blood to the massive network of neurons above. It is a tactile reminder of the plumbing of life, the constant movement of fluid that keeps the sensorium fueled and ready. Each beat is a confirmation of presence, a steady metronome that has been ticking since before you were born. It is the music of the machine at rest. The current flows without effort. The muscles of the middle ear, the tensor tympani, and the stapedius are relaxing their tension. During the day, these tiny muscles contract to protect your hearing from loud noises, acting as a built-in volume control. Now, in the safety of the night, they loosen their grip, allowing the ear to become even more sensitive to the subtle nuances of the quiet. You can hear the silence of the room, not as an absence of sound, but as a textured, velvet presence. The rhythm of the deep endures. The spinal cord, the great highway of information, is now carrying fewer and fewer urgent messages from the periphery. The motor neurons that control movement are being dampened by the brain, a process that prevents you from acting out your dreams. This temporary paralysis is a protective embrace, ensuring that your body remains still while your mind travels through the landscapes of the imagination. You are locked in a state of physical grace, anchored to the bed by the brain's own wisdom, and everything rests. Consider the millions of synapses in your visual cortex, the part of the brain that processes shape and motion. Even in total darkness, these neurons fire occasionally in what is known as dark noise, creating the shifting patterns of color you see when you close your eyes. These are the phosphines, the ghost lights of the nervous system, proving that the brain is always active, even when the windows are closed. They are the internal sparks of a system that never truly turns off, and still, it turns. As you drift, the sense of your body's boundaries may begin to feel less distinct, as if you were merging slightly with the air and the mattress. This is because the brain is reducing its focus on the self-model, the constant calculation of where you are in relation to everything else. In this state of sensory thinning, the distinction between the I and the world becomes a soft, blurry line. It is a return to a simpler state of being, where you are just a part of the room's quiet energy. Stillness widens its reach. The nerves in your gut, often called the second brain, are busy with the slow work of digestion and nutrient absorption. This enteric nervous system contains more neurons than the spinal cord, and it communicates constantly with the head via the vagus nerve. It reports on the state of your inner sea, ensuring that the fuel you took in during the day is being converted into the energy of tomorrow. It is a quiet, subterranean laboratory working while you sleep, and life adjusts once more. Every hair follicle on your arms is equipped with a tiny cluster of nerves that can detect the slightest movement of a breeze. These receptors are so sensitive, they can respond to the displacement of a single millimeter, a legacy of our need to detect the movement of insects or the approach of something in the dark. Tonight, they report only the stillness of the air, a message of absolute calm that is sent up to the somatosensory cortex. The air is a motionless silk. The quiet returns to the roots. The eyes, beneath their lids, may begin to move in slow, rolling patterns. This is the precursor to REM sleep, a sign that the brain is preparing to transition from observing the world to dreaming it. The muscles that control the eyes are some of the only ones not affected by sleep paralysis, allowing them to follow the internal sights of the dreamscape. This movement is the only outward sign of the incredible journey your mind is about to take. The rhythm continues, without effort. Deep within the brain, the hypothalamus is releasing GABA, a neurotransmitter that acts as a chemical off switch for the arousal centers. This molecule drifts across the synapses, binding to receptors and telling the neurons to slow their firing. It is like a soft blanket being laid over a field of tall grass, pressing everything down into a state of repose. The chemistry of the day is being replaced by the chemistry of the night. Peace hums through the body. The sense of hearing is the last to truly fade, remaining as a sentinel on the borders of sleep. Even as the other senses go offline, the ears stay tuned to the environment, ready to wake you if a sudden change occurs. This is an ancient security system, a way for the organism to remain safe while it is vulnerable. But in the absence of alarm, this sensitivity simply allows you to sink deeper into the comfort of the steady, white noise of the night, and silence follows. Your hands, which have spent the day grasping, typing, and touching, are now open and soft. The density of nerve endings in the fingertips is among the highest in the body, providing a resolution of touch that allows you to feel the difference between silk and paper. Now, those sensors are resting against the sheets, reporting only a continuous, flat landscape of softness. There is nothing more to manipulate, nothing more to hold. The hands have finished their work, and everything softens. The brain's glymphatic system is just now beginning its shift, a process where the spaces between brain cells expand to allow cerebrospinal fluid to wash away metabolic waste. This brain washing only happens during sleep, a vital cleaning cycle that keeps the sensorium sharp and clear. It is a literal tide within the skull, a rhythmic cleansing that ensures the mind remains a pristine instrument for perception. The internal currents are moving in their secret channels. Stillness feeds the ground. You may notice a feeling of lightness in your chest, a sense that the weight of the day's responsibilities has been lifted. This is the emotional component of sensory withdrawal, the relief that comes when the mind no longer has to process the social and physical demands of life. You are returning to a purely biological state, a place where you are defined not by what you do, but by the simple fact that you are breathing. It is a state of profound innocence, and peace lingers. The neurons that process pain, known as nociceptors, are also quieting down in the absence of stimulus. The body's natural opioids may be released in small amounts, further dampening any lingering discomfort from the day's movements. This natural analgesia is part of the body's preparation for rest, ensuring that the physical vessel is comfortable enough to remain still for many hours. You are being lulled into a state of physical ease. Still, the universe breathes. The sense of taste and smell are so closely linked that they often function as a single flavor sense. In the quiet of the night, as the air in the room remains still, these pathways have very little to report. This sensory vacuum allows the brain to turn inward, focusing on the internal flavors of thought and memory. The world has become a blank canvas, waiting for the dreams to paint their first strokes. The chemical gates are locked for the night, and the quiet holds. Think of the billions of sodium and potassium ions moving across your nerve membranes right now, the tiny batteries that power every thought and sensation. This movement is the fundamental electrical pulse of life, a constant flow that requires a vast amount of the body's energy. As you sleep, this electrical activity changes its pattern, but never its importance. You are a shimmering network of light and energy, resting in the dark. the network endures. The prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for logic and planning, is beginning to power down its metabolic activity. This allows the more ancient, sensory-driven parts of the brain to take the lead. You are moving away from the world of why and how and into the world of is. There is no need for analysis, only for the simple experience of the moment. The thinker is stepping aside to let the breather take over, and everything rests. The vestibular system in your ears is reporting a perfect horizontal alignment, a message that is being integrated with the touch of the bed to create a deep sense of stability. You are not floating, you are anchored. You are a part of the Earth's mass, held in place by the same forces that keep the moon in its orbit. This physical certainty is the ultimate foundation for mental peace. The gravity is a constant, benevolent companion. The orbit holds. The sensations of the face, the eyelids, the lips, the jaw, are often where we hold the most tension. Take a moment to feel the air on your cheeks, a cool and indifferent touch that asks nothing of you. Let the muscles around your mouth soften, allowing the tongue to rest away from the roof of the mouth. This release of facial tension sends a powerful signal to the brain that the day is truly over. The mask of the day is being set aside, and everything softens. Your heartbeat is slowing now, finding its resting rhythm of 60 or 70 beats per minute. Each contraction of the cardiac muscle is a masterpiece of electrical coordination, pushing blood through miles of vessels to reach the furthest sensors in your skin. This internal pulse is the primary rhythm of your existence, a drumbeat that provides the tempo for all other biological processes. You can lean into this rhythm, letting it carry you towards sleep, and the quiet deepens. The temperature of the room is likely a few degrees cooler than your body, creating a gentle thermal gradient. This difference in temperature is sensed by your skin, which then sends signals to the hypothalamus to adjust your internal furnace. This constant thermoregulation is a quiet background task that requires a large amount of sensory feedback. As you settle under the covers, the body finds its perfect microclimate, a pocket of warmth in a cool world. Stillness travels through the water. Finally, the brain begins to emit sleep spindles, quick bursts of brainwaves that help to block out external noise. These spindles are the final sentries, standing guard over your sleep, to ensure that the sensorium remains undisturbed by the minor sounds of the night. They are the sign that the transition is almost complete. You are moving into the deep, protected waters of the unconscious, and the rhythm continues. The world outside continues its rotation, the stars shifting their positions in the sky, and the night air moving through the trees. But here, in the center of your own quiet kingdom, the work of the day is done. Your senses have brought you home, and now they will rest alongside you. You are safe, you are grounded, and you are exactly where you need to be. The story of the day is finished, and light drifts onward. Even as the conscious mind begins to retreat into the deeper layers of the self, the silence of the room is not a hollow void, but a filled space, full of the steady frequency of existence. Within your brain, the sensory signals that were once sharp and demanding have become rounded and soft, like pebbles worn smooth by the tide. The neurons are no longer jumping to every shift in the air. They are settling into a collective hum, a shared resonance that signals the onset of a profound peace. You are drifting away from the specifics of the room and toward the general sensation of being, and the quiet holds. Consider the intricate architecture of your mechanoreceptors, specifically the Merkel discs that reside in the sensitive tips of your fingers and the soles of your feet. These cells are designed for sustained touch, providing the brain with a continuous report on the texture of the world. As you remain still, these receptors slowly decrease their firing rate in a process called adaptation. The brain realizes that the pressure of the mattress is constant and safe, so it moves that information into the background of your awareness. It is an act of neurological trust, allowing the body to feel weightless while being perfectly supported. The current flows without effort. Deep inside the spinal column, the cerebrospinal fluid is pulsing in a slow, rhythmic cycle that mirrors your breathing. This clear, silken liquid acts as a cushion for your entire nervous system, ensuring that the delicate tissues of the brain and cord are protected from the physical jolts of life. In the stillness of the night, this fluid moves with a renewed purpose, carrying nutrients and clearing the pathways of the mind. It is a hidden river, flowing in the darkness, maintaining the internal tides of your biology. You can almost feel the gentle pressure of this internal sea. Stillness travels through the water. The sense of proprioception, the invisible map of your body, is now shifting its focus from movement to stillness. Your brain is receiving constant updates from the spindles in your muscles, confirming that your limbs are at rest and your joints are relaxed. This feedback loop creates a sense of physical integrity, a feeling that your body is a cohesive and secure vessel. Even without seeing your hands or feet, you can feel their presence as a warm glow on the edge of your consciousness. You are anchored in the architecture of your own form, and the network endures. The air in the room has a distinct weight, a soft atmospheric pressure that rests against your face and hands. This pressure is sensed by the fine hairs on your skin, which act as biological anemometers, detecting the subtle movement of the air currents. As the room settles, the air becomes almost perfectly still, a static medium that wraps around you, like a second skin. This lack of movement is a powerful sensory signal for safety, telling the ancient parts of your brain that there is no predator or storm approaching. The environment is in a state of grace, and silence follows. Your heart is a masterpiece of sensory integration, containing its own little brain of neurons that communicate directly with your head. This cardiac nervous system senses the pressure of the blood and the rhythm of the beat, adjusting the force of each contraction to match your level of relaxation. As you drift closer to sleep, the heart sends a message of tranquility up the vagus nerve, quieting the mind and slowing the thoughts. It is a biological conversation of peace, conducted in the language of pulses and pressures. Peace hums through the body. The olfactory system is now largely inactive, as the molecules of the room have settled onto the surfaces of the furniture. In the absence of new scents, the olfactory bulb enters a state of low power maintenance, allowing the emotional centers of the brain to drift away from the present. This lack of chemical stimulation is a key component of the transition to sleep, as smell is a sense that often triggers alertness and memory. With the air clear and neutral, the mind is free to wander into the abstract landscapes of the subconscious, and light drifts onward. In the darkness, the rods in your eyes are reaching their peak sensitivity, a process known as dark adaptation. These cells are specialized to see in the dimmest light, utilizing a protein called rhodopsin that breaks down in the sun and rebuilds itself in the shadows. This chemical regeneration is happening right now behind your eyelids, preparing your vision for the deep blue hues of the night. Even though you are not looking at the world, your body is meticulously maintaining its ability to see. It is a silent preparation for a morning yet to come. And still, it turns. The auditory cortex is filtering the faint sounds of the house, the cooling of the pipes, the settling of the wood, the distant hum of the world. These sounds are categorized as non-threatening and are effectively muted before they can reach your conscious awareness. This gating mechanism allows the brain to maintain a state of vigilance without sacrificing rest. You are hearing the room, but you are not listening to it. The sounds are merely the texture of the silence. The rhythm of the deep endures. The temperature of your skin is now perfectly balanced with the air trapped beneath your blankets. This microenvironment is a sanctuary of thermal stability, where the body no longer needs to work to maintain its heat. The sweat glands are dormant, and the tiny muscles that cause shivering are at rest. This thermal equilibrium is a profound relief for the sensorium, allowing the brain to redirect its energy away from the skin and toward the internal work of dreaming. You are a warm island in a cool sea, and everything softens. The sense of taste remains as a lingering memory on the tongue, a faint chemical echo of the day's nourishment. The gustatory nerves are quiet, but the brain may still be processing the afterglow of flavors experienced hours ago. This sense is a bridge to the earth, a reminder that your body is built from the molecules of the world around you. Even in the dark, You are a part of the planet's great cycle of energy and matter. The quiet returns to the roots. Your breathing has become a slow, diaphragmatic wave, moving the abdomen more than the chest. This type of breathing stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system, further deepening the state of relaxation and lowering the heart rate. Each exhale is a physical release of tension, a letting go of the day's remaining grip. You can feel the air moving through your nose, cool on the inhale and warm on the exhale, a constant rhythmic cycle of life. Still, the universe breathes. The neurons in your primary somatosensory cortex, which map out the surface of your body, are becoming less active. The homunculus, the mental representation of your physical self, is beginning to dissolve at the edges. You may feel as though your hands are larger than they are, or that your feet are drifting away, as the brain stops maintaining a rigid map of your shape. This sensory blurring is a natural part of the descent into sleep, a loosening of the ego's grip on the physical form, and the quiet holds. The vestibular system is now reporting a state of absolute equilibrium. The fluid in your inner ear is motionless, and the tiny hair cells that detect tilt are sending a steady, unchanging signal of level. This internal horizon provides the mind with a sense of topographical safety, a certainty that you are not falling or sliding. You are resting in the gravity of the world, a heavy and peaceful object in a stable universe. The orbit holds. Within the brain, the pineal gland is continuing its steady release of melatonin into the third ventricle. This hormone travels through the cerebrospinal fluid, bathing the brain in a chemical signal that it is time for the great withdrawal. Melatonin does not make you sleep, but it turns on the lights for the sleep processes to begin, signaling to every cell in the body that the night has arrived. It is the conductor of your internal orchestra, bringing the tempo down to a slow, adagio pace. And life adjusts once more. The nerves that control your facial expressions are now completely slack. The thousands of tiny muscle fibers in your forehead, around your eyes, and in your jaw have let go of their habitual patterns. This facial relaxation is one of the most effective ways to quiet the mind, as the brain constantly monitors the state of the face to determine its emotional tone. With a neutral face comes a neutral and peaceful mind. The mask of the persona has been set aside for the night, and peace lingers. Your hands are resting in a natural curved position, the position of function, where the muscles are at their most relaxed. The sense of touch in the palms is deep and muffled, a vague awareness of the texture of the fabric. You are no longer an agent of change in the world. You are no longer grasping or manipulating. You are simply a being, receiving the gentle pressure of the bed. The hands are at peace. The rhythm continues, without effort. The spinal cord is acting as a silent relay station, dampening the signals from the limbs to ensure that the brain remains undisturbed. This synaptic gating is a masterpiece of biological engineering, allowing the body to be active on a cellular level while remaining still on a macroscopic level. You are a hive of activity, but it is a quiet, internal activity that does not require your attention. The gate is guarded by the wisdom of the nerves, and the network endures. Consider the millions of mitochondria in every cell of your body, the tiny powerhouses that turn oxygen and sugar into the energy of life. Even as you sleep, these organelles are working, though at a much slower pace. They are the ancient ancestors of all complex life, living within us in a symbiotic embrace. In the quiet of the night, they hum with the steady energy of existence, keeping the fires of your biology burning at a low, protective level. Stillness feeds the ground. The sense of hearing, though dampened, is still capable of recognizing the rhythm of your own heart. This internal sound is a comforting constant, a biological metronome that provides a sense of continuity. It is the first sound you ever heard, and it will be the last sound that accompanies you into the world of dreams. It is the sound of the vessel moving through the water of time. The current flows, without effort. As the prefrontal cortex slows its activity, the logical connections of the day begin to fray. The why of things becomes less important than the is of things. You are no longer solving problems or planning for tomorrow. You are simply witnessing the slow unfolding of the present moment. This cognitive release is a form of mental weightlessness, a shedding of the burdens of the ego. You are moving toward a state of pure perception, and everything softens. The nerves in your skin are now primarily reporting on the state of your internal heat. You can feel the warmth of your own body as a soft radiance, a glow that exists just beneath the surface. This interoceptive awareness is a deeply grounding sensation, a reminder that you are a living, breathing, and warm-blooded creature. You are your own source of comfort in the dark. Stillness travels through the water. The brain's glymphatic system is now at its peak of activity, the channels between the cells widening to allow for the cleansing flow of fluid. This process is like a gentle rain falling on a dusty city, washing away the debris of the day's thoughts. It is a literal refreshing of the mind, ensuring that when you wake, your sensorium will be clear and your perceptions will be sharp. The internal tides are doing their work, and the quiet returns to the roots. The feeling of the blankets against your skin is now a single, unified sensation, a body sense that encompasses your entire form. You are no longer aware of individual points of contact. You are simply aware of being covered and safe. This sensory unification is a hallmark of the transition to deep sleep, a sign that the brain is moving away from the details and toward the whole. You are a single, peaceful entity. Still, the universe breathes. The receptors in your lungs are sensing the slow, even stretch of each breath, reporting back to the brainstem that the oxygen levels are perfect. This feedback loop is the foundation of your physical security, a constant assurance that the most basic needs of life are being met without any effort on your part. You can trust your body to take care of itself while you are away. The breath is a reliable anchor in the sea of sleep, and everything rests. As the threshold of sleep approaches, you may experience a brief sensation of floating or falling. This is a hypnic jerk or a hypnagogic state, a moment where the brain and body are slightly out of sync in their descent into rest. It is a harmless flicker of the nervous system, a final spark before the engine of consciousness powers down. It is the last ripple on the surface of the lake before the water becomes perfectly still. The orbit holds. The neurons that process the sense of time are now firing in a disorganized and slow manner. The linear progression of the day, the past, the present, and the future is collapsing into a single, eternal now. This is the time of the soul, a state of being where the clock has no power. You are drifting in the timeless currents of the biological night, and the quiet deepens. Your eyes, though closed, are sensing the absolute lack of movement in the room. This visual stillness is integrated with the auditory silence and the physical rest to create a triple check of safety for the brain. Every sensory system is in agreement. It is safe to let go. The world is at peace, and so are you. The final barriers to sleep are falling away, and peace lingers. The story of your day has been told, and the pages are now being turned by a gentle, invisible hand. The data has been gathered, the sensations have been felt, and the lessons have been learned. Now, the book is being closed and placed on the shelf of memory. You are entering the silent library of the night, where only the softest whispers of thought remain, and the quiet holds. The rhythm of the universe continues, a vast and slow dance of light and gravity that has been happening for billions of years. You are a part of that dance, a conscious observer who is now taking a well-deserved rest. The stars will watch over the world while you sleep, and the earth will carry you on its journey through the dark. You are home, and light drifts onward, its long waves traveling through the silence of the room like a ghost of the afternoon sun. Within the deep structures of your brain, the thalamus has now almost entirely closed the gate to the outside world, acting as a soft, biological silencer. Only the most significant signals, the sound of your name or a sharp change in the atmosphere, could pierce this veil of tranquility. You are tucked away in a private sanctuary of your own making, where the raw physics of the universe are translated into the quiet poetry of rest. The external world is still there, but it has lost its weight, becoming a distant echo on the edge of a dream, and the quiet holds, Consider the microscopic chemistry of your synapses, the gaps between your neurons where thoughts and sensations are traded. Right now, the brain is being flooded with inhibitory neurotransmitters, small molecules that act like dampening pedals on a piano. They bind to the receptors, slowing the electrical chatter and inviting the cells to fall into a synchronized, slow-wave rhythm. This chemical shift is the physical manifestation of peace, a molecular tide that washes over the cerebral cortex. You can feel the mental static clearing, leaving behind a vast and empty space. The network endures. The muscles that control your breathing are now working in perfect coordination with the autonomic nervous system, requiring no conscious effort from you. As the diaphragm drops, it creates a gentle vacuum, pulling the cool air into the branching trees of your lungs. This air is then warmed by your internal heat, stripped of its oxygen, and exhaled as a soft, humid breath. This exchange is the most fundamental rhythm of your life, a constant bridge between your inner world and the atmosphere of the planet. Each breath is a quiet confirmation of your place in the living world, and still, the universe breathes. Deep in the dermis of your skin, the Krauss end bulbs are sensing the subtle cooling of the air as the night deepens. These specialized receptors are tuned to cold, and their slow, rhythmic firing helps the brain regulate your core temperature. As the world outside cools, your body responds by drawing its heat inward, protecting the vital organs and the brain. This thermal retreat is a primal instinct, a way of huddling within the self to preserve the fire of life. You are a warm hearth in a cooling house. Peace hums through the body. The sense of hearing is now operating at a lower resolution, focusing on the texture of the silence rather than the meaning of sounds. The brain's auditory processing centers are no longer looking for patterns or language. They are simply bathed in the white noise of the room's atmosphere. This acoustic stillness allows the mind to detune from the external environment and tune into the internal hum of the body. You can hear the rushing of your own blood, a sound like distant wind in the tops of trees. The rhythm of the deep endures. Your proprioceptors are sending a final, steady report that you are immobile and safe. The tension in your neck and shoulders, often the last holdouts of the day's stress, has finally surrendered to the pull of gravity. The heavy muscles of the back are spreading out against the mattress, increasing the surface area of your contact with the earth. This physical expansion is a sign of total trust, a willingness to let the world hold you without reservation. You are sinking into the support of the ground. The current flows without effort. The visual cortex, deprived of light, is now generating its own internal imagery, the swirling mists and sparks of the hypnagogic state. These are not yet dreams, but the pre-show of the subconscious, a kaleidoscope of shapes that reflect the brain's effort to make sense of the darkness. As you watch these patterns with your mind's eye, you may find that they begin to morph into faces, places, or abstract symbols. It is the beginning of the great migration from the physical to the imaginal, and light drifts onward. In your mouth, the tongue has settled into a state of total repose, its sensitive taste buds shielded from the air. The chemical world has been reduced to a neutral, watery baseline, a blank slate that allows the mind to forget the act of consumption. This sensory withdrawal is essential for the transition to sleep, as it removes one of the primary ways we interact with the external world. You are no longer tasting the earth, you are simply being. Stillness travels through the water. The vestibular system is now so quiet that you might feel a sensation of mild disorientation, as if you were floating in a gravity-free void. This happens when the brain stops receiving conflicting signals about movement and settles into a state of pure equilibrium. Without the visual horizon to check against, the inner ear reports only a peaceful nowhere, a state of topographical suspension. You are a star drifting in the dark, held by invisible forces. The orbit holds. The nerves in your gut are performing their nightly rhythm of peristalsis, a slow and methodical movement that ensures the body is nourished and cleansed. This enteric brain operates on its own clock, independent of the head, ensuring that the vital work of life continues while the ego is offline. You can feel a faint warmth in your center, a sign of the metabolic fires being tended by your internal caretakers. It is a deeply grounding sensation of biological continuity, and life adjusts once more. The thousands of tiny nerve endings in your scalp are relaxing, allowing the skin of your forehead and temples to smooth out. We often carry the day's concentration in the muscles of the brow, and their release is a powerful signal for the brain to stop planning and start resting. As the tension leaves the scalp, it feels as though a tight band has been removed from your head, letting your thoughts expand and dissipate into the air. The quiet deepens. Your blood pressure is reaching its lowest point of the day, a phenomenon known as nocturnal dipping. This reduction in pressure allows the heart and the vascular system to rest, reducing the wear and tear on the delicate linings of your arteries. It is a mechanical mercy, a slowing of the pumps to allow for the maintenance of the pipes. You are operating in a low power mode, a state of maximum efficiency and minimal effort. Still, the universe breathes. Within the brain, the lymphatic system is now at its most active, the pulses of the heart helping to drive the cleansing fluid through the tissue. This process is like a quiet tide, washing over a beach at night, removing the footprints of the day's mental activity. Each wave of fluid carries away the chemical debris of consciousness, leaving the mind clean and ready for the morning. It is a literal refreshing of the sensorium, a nightly renewal of your ability to perceive the world. Stillness feeds the ground. The sense of touch has become generalized, a soft blur that covers the entire surface of your body. You are no longer aware of the specific texture of the pillow or the weight of the sheet. Instead, you are aware of a single protective envelope of comfort. This sensory unification is a sign that the brain is moving away from the what and where and toward the is. You are a singular point of awareness, resting in a field of softness, and everything softens. Your heartbeat is a slow, steady pulse that can be felt in the tips of your fingers and the hollow of your throat. This is the tactile manifestation of your life force, a constant and reliable rhythm that provides a sense of security in the dark. It is a reminder that you are a living, breathing creature, a masterpiece of biological engineering that knows exactly how to take care of itself. You can lean your mind against this beat, letting it carry you deeper into the night, and the quiet returns to the roots. The olfactory bulb is resting, its neurons firing only at a baseline level. Without the stimulation of new molecules, the sense of smell fades into a memory, allowing the more ancient parts of the brain to settle into a state of dormancy. The air in the room is still and neutral, a vacuum of scent that provides a clean background for the mind's rest. You are breathing the same air over and over, a closed loop of biological harmony, and peace lingers. As you drift, the distinction between your body and the bed may seem to vanish entirely. This is a form of sensory integration where the brain ceases to prioritize the boundaries of the skin. You become the room, and the room becomes you, a single, quiet ecosystem of stillness and air. This loss of boundary is not frightening, but deeply comforting, a return to a state of oceanic oneness. Stillness widens its reach. The nerves in your legs and feet are silent, the long pathways of the sciatic and femoral nerves carrying only the faintest pulses of baseline activity. After a day of walking, standing, and moving, this silence is a profound relief for the nervous system. The feet, which bear the entire weight of your existence, are now weightless, floating in the softness of the bedding. They have reached their destination, and there is nowhere left to go, and everything rests. Consider the millions of rod cells in your retinas, now fully adapted to the darkness. They are so sensitive that they could detect the light of a single candle from miles away, yet they sit in the darkness of your skull, waiting. This potential for perception is always there, even when it is not being used. It is a form of biological readiness, a promise that the world will be visible again when the sun returns. For now, they rest in the shadows, and light drifts onward. The prefrontal cortex has almost entirely yielded its control to the more primitive, emotional centers of the brain. The logic of the day is being replaced by the fluid, metaphorical language of the dream mind. You are moving from a world of facts to a world of feelings, where the rules of time and space no longer apply. This cognitive shift is a form of liberation, a shedding of the ego's heavy armor. The network endures. The muscles of your jaw have completely unclenched, and your lips may be slightly parted to allow for the easy passage of breath. This release of the bite is a sign of deep psychological safety, a willingness to be vulnerable in the presence of the night. With the jaw relaxed, the throat softens, and the voice of the day falls silent. You are a silent observer of your own descent into the deep, and silence follows. The sense of hearing is still alert, but it is now tuned to the internal sounds of the body, the rush of air, the thrum of the heart, the soft clicks of the swallowing reflex. These sounds are the background music of your life, a comforting and familiar soundtrack that reinforces the sense of self. They are the sounds of a house that is lived in, a vessel that is occupied. You are at home in your own skin. The rhythm of the deep endures. The chemicals of sleep, melatonin, adenosine, and GABA, are now at their highest concentrations in your brain. They act like a soft, heavy fog that has rolled in from the sea, obscuring the landmarks of the waking world. This fog is not cold or damp. It is a warm, protective mist that lulls the neurons into a state of blissful inactivity. You are being shrouded in the chemistry of the night. Peace hums through the body. The tiny muscles that control the focus of your eyes are now at rest, the lenses set to a distant, infinity focus. Even though the lids are closed, the eyes are positioned as if they were looking at the furthest stars. This relaxation of the visual apparatus is a key component of the transition to deep rest, as it signals to the brain that there is nothing left to scrutinize or examine. You are looking at the vastness of the internal void, and still, it turns. Your hands are open, the palms facing upward or tucked softly against your side. The thousands of nerve endings in the fingertips, which spend the day gathering data about texture and temperature, are now dormant. There is nothing to grasp, nothing to type, nothing to hold on to. The hands have surrendered their agency, becoming simple, sensing objects in the dark. They are resting on the shore of the night, and everything softens. The spinal cord is now primarily focused on the autonomic functions: heartbeat, digestion, and temperature regulation. The motor signals that drive voluntary movement are being actively inhibited, creating a state of physical peace that is absolute. You are a statue made of warm, living tissue, anchored in the present moment by the wisdom of your nerves. The world can move around you, but you remain still, and everything rests in its place. The sense of time has completely dissolved, replaced by a sense of eternal presence. There is no tomorrow to worry about, and no yesterday to regret. There is only the feeling of the breath and the warmth of the bed. This is the ultimate goal of the sensorium, to bring you into a state of perfect alignment with the now. You are a biological being, existing in the only time that truly exists. Still, the universe breathes. The gateways of the senses are now only cracked open, allowing just enough light and sound to ensure your safety. The rest of the world is being kept at bay, allowing the mind to focus on the work of restoration and dreaming. You are in a state of protected isolation, a cocoon of biology that is perfectly suited for the dark. The journey is almost complete. The quiet returns to the roots. The last thoughts of the day are like autumn leaves falling into a still pond, creating ripples that slowly fade away until the surface is once again like glass. There is no more noise, no more movement, and no more distraction. You are at the very edge of the deep, ready to let go of the last threads of awareness. The silence is absolute, and it is beautiful, and the quiet holds. The rhythm of your life is now perfectly synchronized with the rhythm of the night. You are a part of the darkness, a part of the stillness, and a part of the planet's long, slow exhale. Sleep is not something you do. It is something that happens to you, a natural and inevitable return to the source. You are home, and light drifts onward, sending paragraphs 121 to 150 of 230. And light drifts onward, its ancient waves stretching across the room like silk in the dark. Your brain is now entering the profound depths of slow-wave sleep, where the neurons fire in massive, synchronized pulses that sweep from the front of the skull to the back. This is the most restorative phase of the night, a period where the body's metabolic rate drops and the focus shifts entirely to cellular repair. The sensory world has been almost completely eclipsed by the internal needs of the biological machine. You are no longer a person in a room. You are a quiet landscape of regeneration and growth, and the quiet holds. Consider the intricate work of the mechanoreceptors in your joints, the Ruffini endings that detect the subtle stretch of the skin and the angle of the limbs. Even in the stillness of deep sleep, these sensors provide a baseline of information that keeps the brain informed of the body's physical integrity. They report that the limbs are safe, the muscles are slack, and the skeleton is supported. This constant stream of all is the foundation upon which the deeper architectures of sleep are built. You are resting on a bedrock of biological certainty. The current flows without effort. Deep within your muscles, the process of protein synthesis is accelerating, fueled by the release of growth hormones from the pituitary gland. This is the time when the physical wear and tear of the day is mended, when the microscopic tears in the fibers are knit back together. Your body is literally rebuilding itself while you rest, using the quiet of the night to reinforce its structure. This is the silent labor of life, a tireless effort to maintain the vessel of your consciousness. You can feel the heavy, peaceful warmth of this deep-seated work. Peace hums through the body. The sense of hearing has retreated into a specialized state of vigilance, where the brain only responds to sounds that carry high emotional or survival significance. The low-level hum of the world is now completely invisible to the mind, filtered out by the sophisticated gating mechanisms of the midbrain. This allows the auditory cortex to rest, its neurons firing only in the rhythmic patterns of the sleep cycle. You are surrounded by a cocoon of silence that is guarded by the very pathways that once brought you the day's noise, and silence follows. Your core temperature has now reached its nightly nadir, the lowest point in its 24-hour cycle. This cooling is not a sign of loss, but a deliberate strategy to conserve energy and slow the chemical reactions of the body. It allows the organs to rest and the heart to beat with minimal effort, preserving the fire of life for the morning's awakening. You are like a seed buried in the winter earth, cool on the outside but full of the potential for new life. The quiet returns to the roots. The blood vessels in your skin are at their most relaxed, allowing a steady flow of nutrients to reach the outermost layers of your body. This increased blood flow is why your skin often feels warm to the touch during deep sleep, as the internal heat is brought to the surface to be released. It is a gentle, thermal exchange with the environment, a way of breathing heat into the room while the interior remains calm. You are a radiant source of life, even in your deepest stillness. Stillness travels through the water. The sense of smell, though dormant, remains a potential pathway for memory and emotion, should a strong enough scent arise. The olfactory bulb, nestled beneath the frontal lobes, continues to pulsate with a slow, rhythmic activity that is synchronized with your breathing. This olfactory rhythm helps to coordinate the activity of the entire limbic system, the part of the brain responsible for feelings and memories. Even in the dark, your sense of smell is anchoring your emotions to the rhythm of your life, and life adjusts once more. Within the eyes, the pupils have constricted to their smallest size, shielded from the world by the heavy curtains of the lids. The muscles that control the iris are at rest, no longer needing to adjust for the changing light of the day. The retinas, too, are operating at a baseline level, their chemical stores of photopigments being replenished for the morning. This is the visual system's time of restoration, a deep cleaning of the instruments of sight. The quiet rhythm of the deep endures. The vestibular system in the inner ear continues to monitor the pull of gravity, ensuring that the brain knows its orientation in space even in the absence of visual cues. This system is the most primitive of our senses, a direct link to the physical laws that govern the planet. It tells you that you are anchored to the Earth, a solid and secure object in a moving universe. This gravitational certainty is the ultimate source of physical peace. The orbit holds. Your digestive system has slowed to a rhythmic crawl, the enteric nervous system managing the final stages of the day's intake. The liver and kidneys are working with renewed focus, filtering the blood and balancing the body's chemistry in the quiet of the night. This internal housekeeping is essential for the clarity of your perceptions tomorrow, ensuring that the blood which feeds your brain is clean and pure. You are a self-cleansing system, a masterpiece of biological elegance. Stillness feeds the ground. The nerves in your hands and feet, the most distant outposts of your sensorium, are now experiencing a state of profound rest. The constant stream of tactile data that usually floods these pathways has been reduced to a trickle, allowing the nerves to recover their sensitivity. When you wake, these sensors will be sharp and ready to meet the world again. But for now, they are sleeping in the dark. The hands are empty, and the feet are still, and everything softens. Your breathing is now so deep and regular that it resembles the steady movement of a mechanical bellows. This rhythm is controlled by the medulla oblongata, the ancient part of the brainstem that manages the most basic functions of life. It requires no thought, no effort, and no attention. It is the fundamental pulse of your existence. Each breath is a wave that carries you further away from the shores of the waking world. Still, the universe breathes. The brain's glymphatic system is now operating at its peak efficiency, the pulses of the brain's arteries helping to flush the waste products from the tissue. This process is crucial for preventing the buildup of proteins that can cloud the mind and dull the senses. It is a nightly purification, a way of ensuring that the instrument of your consciousness remains bright and clear. The internal tides are washing the shores of your mind. The network endures. The sense of proprioception has become so muffled that you may feel a sense of bodiless awareness, as if your mind were floating independently of your form. This is a sign of deep neural detachment, where the brain's representation of the self has been temporarily deactivated to allow for rest. You are no longer bound by the shape of your limbs or the weight of your torso. You are a pure point of presence in the darkness. Stillness widens its reach. Every cell in your body is following its own internal clock, a set of genetic instructions that dictates the timing of its activities. This circadian rhythm ensures that the different systems of the body work in harmony, even when the conscious mind is offline. Your biology is a grand orchestra, and the night is the movement of the adagio, where the music is slow, deep, and full of resonance. And still, it turns. The spinal cord is performing its role as a silent gatekeeper, preventing any stray electrical signals from reaching the muscles and causing movement. This state of atonia is the body's way of ensuring that the physical vessel remains still while the mind explores the territories of the night. You are safely locked in the stillness of your own, making a quiet statue of flesh and bone. The gate is secure, and everything rests in its place. Consider the millions of neurons in the hippocampus, which are now busy replaying the events of the day and integrating them into long-term memory. This process, known as memory consolidation, is how we learn and grow from our experiences. Your senses have provided the raw data, and now your brain is weaving that data into the story of your life. The sights, sounds, and touches of the day are becoming a permanent part of who you are. The quiet deepens. The temperature of the room is a constant cool presence against the small patches of exposed skin. This external coolness is the perfect contrast to the internal warmth of the body, creating a sense of balance and equilibrium. You are a warm hearth in a cool world, a center of life and energy that is perfectly suited to its environment. This thermal harmony is a deep and quiet comfort. Peace lingers in the dark. The heart is beating with a slow, rhythmic power, pushing the blood through the miles of vessels that make up your circulatory system. Each beat is a reminder of the incredible strength and resilience of your biology, a system that has been refined over millions of years of evolution. You can feel the faint echo of this pulse in the pillow, a steady metronome for your descent into the deep, and the quiet returns to the roots. As you drift, the sense of time remains completely absent, a flat and infinite landscape, where the past and future do not exist. This is the ultimate freedom of sleep, the escape from the tyranny of the clock and the demands of the schedule. You are existing in a state of pure, timeless being, a part of the eternal now. The world of seconds and minutes has been left behind, and peace hums through the body. The muscles of the face are so relaxed that they have lost their habitual expressions of worry, concentration, or joy. The face has returned to its natural, neutral state. The face you were born with, and the face you will have for all the nights of your life. This relaxation is a form of emotional reset, a clearing of the slate for the day to come. The mask of the persona is resting on the nightstand, and everything softens. The sense of hearing is now only listening for the rhythm of your own life, the breath, the heart, the soft movement of the sheets. These sounds are the only ones that matter in the sanctuary of the night, a small and intimate symphony of survival. They provide a sense of continuity and safety, a reminder that you are still here and you are still whole. The rhythm of the deep endures. The chemicals of the night, the adenosine and melatonin, have formed a heavy velvet curtain over the gateways of the mind. This curtain is not meant to keep you in, but to keep the world out, providing the silence and darkness necessary for the work of restoration. You are tucked away in a safe and private place, far from the noise and light of the day. The chemistry of peace is absolute, and silence follows. The neurons that process pain and discomfort are now in a state of deep inhibition, allowing the body to remain still for long periods without the need for adjustment. This natural anesthesia is a vital part of the sleep cycle, ensuring that the physical vessel is not disturbed by the minor aches and pains of existence. You are in a state of perfect physical ease, a body at total rest. Still, the universe breathes. Within the brain, the cerebral cortex is experiencing periods of down states, where the neurons briefly stop firing altogether. These moments of absolute neural silence are thought to be essential for the brain's energy recovery and the maintenance of its connections. It is a literal turning off of the lights, a profound and necessary stillness that only happens in the deepest sleep. The mind is resting in the void, and light drifts onward. Your hands are lying still, the fingers curled in a natural and effortless curve. The thousands of touch receptors in the palms are resting against the fabric of the bedding, reporting only a vague and distant sense of softness. The hands have let go of their grasp on the world, and in doing so, they have allowed the mind to let go as well. The work of the day is truly finished. The network endures. The vestibular system reports that you are perfectly horizontal, a state of maximum stability and rest. There is no more need to balance, to stand, or to move. You are resting in the center of your own gravity. This physical alignment is the foundation for mental alignment, a sense that everything is in its proper place and moving in its proper direction. The orbit holds. The sense of taste has faded to a neutral, watery memory. The chemical gateways closed for the night. This sensory silence allows the mind to forget the act of consumption and focus on the internal flavors of the dream mind. You are no longer taking from the world, you are simply being within it. Stillness travels through the water. The brain's thalamus is now a silent sentinel, standing watch over the doorway to your consciousness. It has filtered out the sounds of the night, the shifts in the light, and the movements of the house, leaving only the pure, undistracted space of your own mind. You are safe, you are protected, and you are free to drift into the deepest reaches of the night, and the quiet holds. The rhythm of your life has merged with the rhythm of the universe, a slow, vast, and inevitable pulse that governs everything from the movement of the stars to the beating of your heart. You are a part of this great harmony, a conscious observer who has found their way home to the silence. Sleep well, knowing that the world is in good hands, and your body knows exactly what to do. And still, it turns. As the planet carries you through the shadow of the sun, a silent traveler in a silent room, you are now at the very core of your rest, where the brain's electrical activity is characterized by slow, high-amplitude delta waves. These waves are the deepest rhythms of human biology, a fundamental resonance that synchronizes the billions of cells in your cortex. In this state, the sensory world has not just been muted, it has been fundamentally reorganized. Your brain is no longer a receiver of external information, but a temple of internal restoration. The boundaries of the day have dissolved into the vastness of the night, and the quiet holds. Consider the intricate mechanism of the Ruffini endings in your skin, which detect the persistent tension of your body's weight against the mattress. These receptors are slow adapting, meaning they continue to send a steady, reassuring signal to the brain throughout the entire night. They are the guardians of your position, confirming that you are still supported, still safe, and still grounded. This constant tactile feedback is like a soft, invisible hand resting on your shoulder, reminding you that you do not need to move. You are exactly where you are meant to be. The current flows, without effort, deep within your skeletal system. The bone marrow is busy producing new red blood cells, a vital process of renewal that peaks during the quiet hours of sleep. These new cells will eventually carry oxygen to every sensor in your body, fueling the perceptions of the future. Your very blood is being refreshed in the dark, a hidden tide of life that ensures your continuity. This is the silent, internal alchemy of the body, turning rest into the raw materials of existence. You can feel the heavy, peaceful density of your own bones. Peace hums through the body. The sense of hearing has become a distant observer, the auditory nerve carrying only the most essential echoes of the environment. The brain has developed a remarkable ability to habituate to predictable sounds, treating them as part of the silence itself. The hum of a fan or the distant sound of the wind is woven into the fabric of your sleep, providing a consistent acoustic background that actually deepens your rest. You are floating on a sea of sound that has become a lullaby of white noise, and silence follows. Your metabolic rate has reached its nightly minimum, a state of biological efficiency that allows the body to focus all its energy on maintenance and repair. The heavy work of the day, the movement, the digestion, the constant processing of data has been set aside. In its place is a slow, methodical restoration of your cellular structures and neural connections. You are like a city at night, with the streetlights dimmed and the maintenance crews working in the quiet of the shadows. The quiet returns to the roots. The blood flow to your brain remains high, even as the rest of the body cools, ensuring that the master organ has everything it needs for its nightly reorganization. The brain uses this time to strengthen the synapses that were active during the day and prune away the ones that were not. This is the physical basis of learning and adaptation, a sculpting of the mind that happens in the absence of conscious thought. Your sensorium is being refined and sharpened for the next time you open your eyes. Stillness travels through the water. The olfactory system is in a state of deep repose. The sensory neurons in the nasal cavity protected by a thin layer of moisture. Without the movement of air that comes from activity, the chemical signals of the room remain stationary, never reaching the receptors. This sensory stillness allows the olfactory bulb to synchronize its slow wave activity with the rest of the brain, contributing to the overall harmony of your rest. The world is a neutral, odorless space of pure breath, and life adjusts once more. Within the visual system, the absence of light has allowed the rhodopsin levels in your rods to reach their maximum capacity. This chemical readiness means that your eyes are more sensitive now than at any other time of the day, even if they are shielded by your lids. This is the body's way of ensuring that you are never truly blind to the world, even in the deepest dark. It is a promise of vision, held in reserve until the first light of dawn. The quiet rhythm of the deep endures. The vestibular system in your inner ear continues to report that you are in a state of perfect horizontal equilibrium. This sense of level is integrated with the pressure signals from your skin to create a deep, subconscious feeling of security. You are not just lying down, you are aligned with the very horizon of the planet. This topographical certainty allows the mind to let go of its need to monitor the environment, sinking instead into the stability of the Earth. The orbit holds. Your endocrine system is working in a rhythmic cycle, releasing pulses of growth hormone and prolactin that facilitate tissue repair and immune function. These hormones are the chemical messengers of the night, coordinating the complex work of millions of cells across your entire body. They ensure that every part of you, from the tips of your toes to the surface of your brain, is being tended to and restored. You are a biological system in a state of total harmonious maintenance. stillness feeds the ground. The nerves in your hands and feet are now experiencing a profound lack of stimulation, allowing them to recalibrate their sensitivity. After a day of constant contact and movement, this period of quiet is essential for maintaining the high resolution of your sense of touch. The senses are resting, the pathways are clear, and the brain is no longer demanding data from the periphery. Your extremities have become soft, warm anchors in the darkness, and everything softens. Your breathing has settled into a slow, rhythmic pattern that is almost perfectly synchronized with your heart rate. This state of respiratory sinus arrhythmia is a hallmark of deep relaxation and health, a sign that your autonomic nervous system is in a state of perfect balance. Each breath is a slow wave of oxygen that washes over your internal landscape, nourishing the cells and calming the mind. You are breathing in time with the quiet of the room. Still, the universe breathes. The brain's glymphatic system is continuing its vital work, the pulses of the cerebrospinal fluid, acting like a gentle tide that cleanses the neural tissue. This nightly wash is essential for maintaining the clarity and speed of your cognitive processes. It is a literal refreshing of your mental hardware, ensuring that the instrument through which you perceive the world remains pristine. The internal tides are doing their work in the silence of the skull. The network endures. The sense of proprioception is now so muffled that you may feel a sense of weightless presence, as if you were a mind drifting in a field of warm energy. This is a sign of deep neural detachment, where the brain's constant monitoring of the body's position has been temporarily deactivated. You are no longer defined by your physical boundaries. You are a singular point of awareness, resting in the absolute stillness of the night. Stillness widens its reach. Every cell in your body is following its own internal rhythm, a set of genetic instructions that dictates the timing of its activities. This circadian harmony ensures that the different systems of the body work in concert, even when the conscious mind is offline. Your biology is a grand, slow-moving symphony, and the night is the movement. Where the music is deepest and most resonant, you are a part of a much larger planetary cycle of light and dark, and still, it turns. The spinal cord continues to act as a silent filter, ensuring that the brain's internal dream activity does not translate into physical movement. This protective state allows the mind to explore the most vivid landscapes of the imagination, while the body remains safely anchored in the bed. You are a quiet statue of living tissue, a vessel for the incredible journey that your mind is taking in the dark. The gate remains secure, and the stillness is absolute, and everything rests in its place. Consider the millions of synapses in your cerebellum, which are now processing the motor patterns you learned during the day. This offline processing is how your body masters new skills, from the way you walk to the way you hold a pen. Your physical grace is being refined in the dark, a silent practice that requires no effort from you. The body is a dedicated student, always learning, even in its deepest sleep. The quiet deepens. The temperature of the bedding has reached a state of perfect equilibrium with your skin, creating a microclimate of absolute comfort. This thermal stability is sensed by your thermoreceptors, which send a continuous signal of safety to the hypothalamus. You are protected from the shifts of the night, wrapped in a layer of warmth that feels as natural as your own skin. This harmony is the ultimate physical foundation for peace. Peace lingers in the dark. The heart is beating with a slow, powerful rhythm, a steady metronome that has guided you through every night of your life. Each contraction of the heart muscle is a testament to the resilience of your biology, a system that knows exactly how to sustain itself. You can feel the faint vibration of this pulse as a comforting, internal hum, a reminder that you are a living, breathing part of the universe, and the quiet returns to the roots. As you drift, the sense of time has become a flat, infinite sea with no markers of the past or the future. This is the timelessness of the biological night, a state where the pressure of the clock has no power over the soul. You are existing in a state of pure, unadulterated being, a part of the eternal cycle of rest and renewal. The world of seconds and minutes has vanished into the shadows. and peace hums through the body. The muscles of the face are completely slack, the tension of the day's social interactions having dissolved into the silence. The face has returned to its natural neutral state, a portrait of absolute calm and peace. This physical release is a powerful signal to the brain that the persona can rest and the true biological self can take over. The mask of the day has been set aside, and everything softens. The sense of hearing is now only listening to the intimate symphony of your own survival. The breath, the heart, the soft rustle of the sheets. These sounds are the only ones that matter in the sanctuary of the night, a small and comforting soundtrack that reinforces your sense of self and safety. They are the echoes of a life well lived and well tended. The rhythm of the deep endures. The chemicals of sleep, the melatonin and adenosine, have formed a heavy, velvet curtain over the gateways of the consciousness. This curtain is not a barrier, but a protection, providing the silence and darkness necessary for the work of the night. You are tucked away in a safe and private space, far from the demands and distractions of the waking world. The chemistry of rest is absolute, and silence follows. The neurons that process pain and discomfort are now in a state of profound inhibition, allowing the body to remain still for long periods without the need for adjustment. This natural anesthesia is a vital part of the sleep cycle, ensuring that the physical vessel is not disturbed by the minor aches and pains of life. You are in a state of perfect physical ease, a body at total rest. Still, the universe breathes. Within the brain, the cerebral cortex is experiencing periods of down states where the neurons briefly stop firing altogether. These moments of absolute neural silence are thought to be essential for the brain's energy recovery and the maintenance of its connections. It is a literal turning off of the mental lights, a profound and necessary stillness that only happens in the deepest sleep. The mind is resting in the void, and light drifts onward. Your hands are lying still, the fingers curled in a natural and effortless curve. The thousands of touch receptors in the palms are resting against the fabric of the bedding, reporting only a vague and distant sense of softness. The hands have let go of their grasp on the physical world, and in doing so, they have allowed the mind to let go of its grasp on the day. The work of the hands is finished. The network endures. The vestibular system reports that you are perfectly horizontal, a state of maximum stability and rest. There is no more need to balance, to stand, or to move. You are resting in the center of your own gravity. This physical alignment is the foundation for mental alignment, a sense that everything is in its proper place and moving in its proper direction. The orbit holds. The sense of taste has faded to a neutral memory, the chemical gateways closed for the night. This sensory silence allows the mind to forget the act of consumption and focus on the internal flavors of the imagination. You are no longer taking from the world, you are simply being within it, a part of the quiet architecture of the room. Stillness travels through the water. The brain's thalamus is a silent sentinel, standing watch over the doorway to your consciousness. It has filtered out the sounds of the night, the shifts in the light, and the movements of the house, leaving only the pure, undistracted space of your own mind. You are safe, you are protected, and you are free to drift into the deepest reaches of the dream world, and the quiet holds. The rhythm of your life has merged with the rhythm of the universe, a slow, vast, and inevitable pulse that governs everything from the movement of the stars to the beating of your heart. You are a part of this great harmony, a conscious observer who has found their way home to the silence. Sleep well, knowing that you are exactly where you are meant to be, and still, it turns, while the deep currents of your biology navigate the middle of the night. You have reached the point where the brain begins to pivot, transitioning from the heavy, restorative slow waves toward the lighter, more visual stages of REM sleep. In this threshold, the sensorium begins to loosen its grip on the physical laws of the room and begins to construct an internal reality of its own. The neurons that were once dampening the outside world are now firing in quick, vivid bursts, weaving together the sights and sounds of your memories into a new, fluid tapestry. You are moving from the temple of rest into the theater of the mind, and the quiet holds. Consider the microscopic movement of the eyes beneath the lids, a phenomenon that gives this stage of sleep its name. These movements are not random. They are the result of the brain's visual processing centers firing as if they were actually looking at a moving world. Your retinas are still dark, but your mind is seeing, recreating the brilliance of a sunset or the curve of a familiar face from the archives of your experience. This is the great irony of the sensorium, that it is most active when it is most disconnected from the world. The inner light is now the only light, and light drifts onward. The motor neurons in your spinal cord are now in a state of absolute inhibition, a biological safeguard called muscle-atonia. This prevents you from physically reacting to the vivid stories being created in your mind, ensuring your body remains a quiet, unmoving vessel while your consciousness travels through time and space. It is a profound state of vulnerability, protected by a profound state of neural wisdom. You are a captive of your own safety, a passenger in a body that has temporarily forgotten how to move. The current flows without effort. The heart rate and breathing, which were slow and steady in the deep stages of sleep, now become slightly more irregular, mimicking the emotional fluctuations of your dreams. If your mind wanders to a place of excitement, your pulse quickens. If it finds a place of peace, the heart slows in response. This intimate link between the imagination and the physical body shows how deeply the felt sense of reality is tied to our inner narratives. Even in the dark, your body is reacting to the world you are building. Peace hums through the body. The temperature regulation of your body becomes less precise during this stage of the night, as the brain prioritizes the activity of the dreaming mind over the maintenance of the internal furnace. You rely more heavily on the microclimate of your blankets to keep you warm, a testament to the trust you have placed in your environment. The skin's thermoreceptors continue to monitor the air, but the signal is now a distant one, a soft background report that the sanctuary remains intact. The quiet returns to the roots. Deep within the brain, the amygdala, the center of emotion, is highly active, processing the feelings that were gathered during the day. It works in tandem with the visual cortex to create scenes that are rich with emotional meaning, helping you to make sense of your place in the social world. This internal emotional sensorium is how we digest the complexity of being human, turning raw feelings into the wisdom of experience. It is a quiet, nightly therapy conducted by the cells themselves. Stillness travels through the water. The sense of hearing remains active enough to incorporate sounds from the room into the narrative of your dreams. The distant chime of a clock or the rustle of a leaf against the window might become a bell or a whisper in the mind's eye. This is a masterful display of sensory integration, where the brain refuses to let the outside world interrupt the flow of the internal story. The external and internal are temporarily one, and life adjusts once more. Your sense of smell is the only sense that does not pass through the thalamus, meaning it has a direct line to the brain's memory centers even in sleep. While the air in your room is likely neutral, the mind can still conjure the scent of pine, salt, or rain as part of its internal explorations. These olfactory hallucinations are often the most evocative part of a dream, grounding the abstract imagery in a physical, chemical truth. The world of scent is a world of feeling. The quiet rhythm of the deep endures. The vestibular system is still reporting the position of your head, but the brain may choose to ignore this data in favor of the motion felt in a dream. You may feel as though you are running, flying, or falling, even as your inner ear sends a steady signal of horizontal rest. This conflict is what makes the experience of dreaming so immersive. The mind creates a new sense of gravity and space that supersedes the physical reality of the bed. The orbit holds. Within the brain, the levels of norepinephrine, the chemical of alertness, are at their absolute lowest point. This allows the mind to explore the most bizarre and creative associations without the critical filter of the logical waking self. You are in a state of pure, uninhibited perception, where the impossible becomes ordinary and the distant becomes near. This is the playground of the sensorium, a place where the rules of physics are merely suggestions. Stillness feeds the ground. The nerves in your hands and feet are completely still, the inhibition of the motor pathways ensuring that the fingers do not grasp and the toes do not kick. This stillness is the canvas upon which the mind paints its movements. You can feel the phantom sensation of a handshake or the texture of a dreamstone without moving a single muscle fiber. It is the ultimate expression of the brain's power to simulate reality, and everything softens. Your breathing is shallow but frequent, a rhythmic flutter that mirrors the rapid activity of the dreaming brain. The chest and abdomen move in a delicate dance, regulated by the ancient centers of the brainstem that never sleep. This breath is the anchor that keeps you tethered to the physical world while your mind wanders through the ether. It is the silver thread of your continuity. Still, the universe breathes. The glymphatic system continues its cleaning work, though at a slightly different pace than in the deeper stages of sleep. The flow of cerebrospinal fluid ensures that the pathways of the mind are kept clear, even as the neurons fire at high frequencies. It is like a fountain that continues to run, even as the city is full of light and movement. The internal cleansing is a constant, benevolent process. The network endures. The sense of proprioception, the body sense, is often completely transformed in the dream state. You might feel taller, shorter, or lighter than you are, as the brain experiments with different models of the self. This plasticity of perception is what allows us to adapt to different environments and challenges in our waking life. In the night, it is a form of mental flexibility that defies the limits of the flesh. Stillness widens its reach. Every neuron in your visual cortex is participating in a grand internal cinema, recreating the world from the bits and pieces of the day. This is the process of offline seeing, where the brain practices its ability to recognize patterns and shapes. It is a vital exercise for the eyes of the mind, ensuring that your perception of the world remains sharp and accurate when you return to the light. And still, it turns. The spinal cord remains a silent conduit, but it is now buzzing with the potential of movement that never reaches the muscles. The electrical signals are sent down the cord, but are stopped at the final gate by a flood of inhibitory chemicals. This is the body's way of practicing action without the consequences of movement. You are a runner in your mind and a stone in your bed, and everything rests in its place. Consider the role of the prefrontal cortex, which is largely dormant during this time. This is why dreams often feel disjointed or lack a sense of time. The part of the brain that organizes reality into a logical sequence has stepped aside. This allows for a more raw sensory experience, where images and feelings are more important than facts and reasons. You are seeing the world with the heart instead of the head. The quiet deepens. The temperature of your skin remains stable, protected by the insulation of your sanctuary. This thermal comfort is the quiet background upon which all your dreams are built. If you were too cold or too warm, the sensory disturbance would pull you out of the dream and back into the room. Your physical comfort is the guardian of your internal journey. Peace lingers in the dark. The heart continues its tireless work, pushing blood through the vast network of vessels that sustain the dreaming brain. The fluctuations in the heart rate are a sign of the brain's engagement with its own stories, a physical echo of the emotions being felt in the dark. The heart is the silent partner in every dream you have ever had, and the quiet returns to the roots. As you drift through this stage of the night, you may experience several cycles of dreaming and deep rest. Each cycle is a new opportunity for the body to repair itself and for the mind to organize its data. You are moving through the different layers of your own biology, like a diver moving through different depths of the ocean. Each level has its own rhythm and its own purpose, and peace hums through the body. The muscles of the face may flicker with small, involuntary movements, a phantom smile or a twitch of the brow. These are the leakages of the dream state, small signs that the mind is deeply engaged with its internal world. To an outside observer, you are at peace, but inside, you are exploring the furthest reaches of the human experience. The mask is alive with the stories of the night, and everything softens. The sense of hearing is now tuned to the internal frequency of the mind, listening to the voices and sounds of the dream narrative. These sounds are just as real to the brain as the sounds of the waking world, as they use the same neural pathways and trigger the same emotional responses. The distinction between real and imagined sound is a matter of geography, not intensity. The rhythm of the deep endures. The chemicals of the night, the GABA and the glycine, are maintaining the blockade on your motor system, ensuring your rest is uninterrupted. These molecules are the silent enforcers of your peace, allowing the mind to be as active as it wants while the body stays as still as it needs to be. You are a masterpiece of chemical balance, a system that knows how to protect itself from its own imagination. And silence follows. The neurons that process touch are now focused on the sensations generated by the dream. You might feel the brush of a phantom wind or the warmth of a dream sun on your skin. These sensations are so convincing because they are built from the same data that your skin has gathered throughout your life. Your brain is a master artist, using the palette of your senses to paint a world you can feel. Still, the universe breathes. Within the brain, the electrical activity is characterized by high-frequency, low-amplitude waves, similar to the state of being awake. This paradoxical sleep is a bridge between the world of rest and the world of action, a state where the mind is fully engaged, but the body is fully disengaged. It is a moment of profound internal synthesis, and light drifts onward. Your hands are lying in the same position they were an hour ago, yet in your mind, they may be busy with 1,000 different tasks. This discrepancy is the essence of the sleep experience, the ability to be two things at once, a resting body and a traveling mind. The hands have surrendered their work to the imagination. The network endures. The vestibular system continues to report a state of horizontal rest, a steady signal that prevents the brain from feeling truly disoriented despite the shifting landscapes of the dream. This physical anchor is what allows you to return from the most vivid journeys with a sense of who and where you are. You are always anchored to the earth. The orbit holds. The sense of taste remains dormant, but the memory of it can be so vivid in a dream that you may wake with the phantom flavor of something on your tongue. This shows how deeply our sensory experiences are etched into the architecture of our brains. Every bite of food you have ever taken is stored somewhere in the neural folds, waiting to be rediscovered in the dark. Stillness travels through the water. The brain's thalamus acts as the final arbiter of what reaches your consciousness. It holds the line between the room and the dream, ensuring that you stay in the state you need to be in for your restoration. It is the gatekeeper of your sanity and your rest, a small and powerful structure that knows exactly what you need. And the quiet holds. The rhythm of the night is now moving toward its final chapters, the long shadow of the sun beginning its slow retreat on the other side of the planet. But here, in the center of your sanctuary, there is still time for more rest, more repair, and more dreaming. You are in the heart of the night, a safe and silent traveler in the world of the senses. As the deep tide of the night begins its slow, imperceptible shift toward the coming dawn, you are suspended in that final, quietest hour where the body has completed its most arduous repairs and the mind has filed away the heaviest of its burdens. The sensory gateways are still draped in the velvet of sleep, but the system is now operating at a level of pristine clarity. Every cell is refreshed, every neural pathway is pruned, and the biological bridge between your spirit and the universe is once again clean and bright. You are resting in a state of grace, a perfectly calibrated instrument of perception waiting for the first light, and the quiet holds. Consider the microscopic stillness of the fluid in your inner ear, which has not been disturbed by movement for many hours. This absolute lack of motion has allowed the hair cells of the vestibular system to settle into a state of maximum sensitivity. They are ready to detect the first tilt of your head or the first stretch of your limbs with the precision of a master clock. This readiness is not a state of tension, but a state of perfect potential energy, like a calm lake before the first stone is dropped. You are balanced on the edge of the present. The orbit holds. The temperature of the room is at its lowest, and your body's internal furnace is just beginning to flicker with the anticipation of the morning. A subtle shift in hormones is occurring. as the levels of cortisol begin to rise in a gentle, rhythmic curve. This is the biological warming of the engines, a slow preparation for the demands of the day that starts long before you are aware of it. You can feel the coolness of the air as a refreshing, clean presence against your cheek, a contrast to the deep warmth of the bed. Peace hums through the body. The sense of hearing is now so refined that the silence of the room feels like a solid, textured medium. You might catch the distant rhythm of a bird's first song, or the far-off hum of the world waking up. But these sounds are not intrusions. They are invitations. They are the heralds of a new day, filtered through the lens of a mind that is fully restored and at peace. You are listening to the world as if for the first time, with a curiosity that is unburdened by the past. The rhythm of the deep endures. Your hands, which have been still for so long, are beginning to feel the return of their own weight as the neural blockade of REM sleep slowly lifts. The fingertips are once again becoming sensitive to the weave of the sheets and the subtle friction of the air. This return of the body sense is a gentle grounding, a way of reconnecting the mind to the physical vessel that has carried it through the night. You're coming back into your own skin, layer by layer, and everything softens. The visual cortex is quieting its internal cinema, the dreams fading like mist under a rising sun. The dark noise of the retinas is settling into a steady, neutral baseline, preparing for the influx of photons that will soon wash over the world. Even with your eyes still closed, you can sense the thinning of the darkness, a change in the quality of the shadows that tells the brain the night is almost through. It is a moment of profound anticipation, and light drifts onward. The breath has become slightly fuller, a more expansive wave that reaches deeper into the lungs. This increase in oxygenation is the fuel for your return to consciousness, a slow-burning fire that clears the last of the sleep fog from the brain. Each inhale is a reclamation of your agency, and each exhale is a final release of the night's long travels. You are breathing in time with the rotation of the planet itself. Still, the universe breathes. Deep within the brain, the glymphatic system has finished its primary cleansing cycle, leaving the neural architecture in a state of high-resolution order. The metabolic debris of yesterday's thoughts has been washed away, leaving the mind sharp, clear, and ready for the new signals of the morning. This is the true gift of the sensorium, the ability to begin each day with a clean slate and a fresh perspective. Your mind is a mirror that has been polished in the dark. The network endures. The sense of proprioception is now fully re-engaged, reporting on the comfortable alignment of your spine and the relaxation of your muscles. You can feel the entire length of your body as a single, cohesive entity, a masterwork of biology that has successfully navigated the landscape of the night. There is a deep satisfaction in this physical integrity, a sense of belonging to the material world. You are an anchored presence in a sea of air. Stillness widens its reach. The endocrine system is now pulsing with the signals of awakening, a chemical symphony that coordinates the rise of your heart rate and the sharpening of your focus. This is the natural crescendo of the night's adagio, a transition from the deep, slow movements of rest to the bright, quick rhythms of life. You are not being jarred awake. You are being carried toward the light on a rising tide of your own biology. And life adjusts. Once more, the muscles of the face are once again beginning to hold a subtle tension, the first preparation for the expressions of the day. The jaw is still relaxed, but the brow is softening, ready to take in the complexity of the world. This facial reawakening is the first step in the return of the persona, the mask we wear to navigate the social world. But for now, it is a neutral and peaceful face, free of history and worry, and the quiet returns to the roots. Your sense of smell is catching the first fresh scents of the morning, the crispness of the air, the faint aroma of the waking earth, the neutral cleanliness of the room. These signals are like a trail of breadcrumbs leading the mind back to the present moment. They provide a sensory map of the immediate world, a way of anchoring the self in the here and the now. The chemical gates are swinging open. Stillness travels through the water. The heart is beating with a steady, confident pulse, its rhythm accelerating. slightly to meet the needs of the waking body. Each beat is a drum roll for the new day, a physical confirmation of your strength and resilience. You have been through the deep and back again, and your heart has guided you through every second of the journey. It is a reliable and benevolent engine of life. The current flows, without effort. As you linger in these final moments of rest, notice the profound harmony that exists between your body and the environment. You are perfectly calibrated to the gravity, the temperature, and the atmosphere of this planet. Your senses are not just tools, they are the very fabric of your connection to the universe. To sense is to participate in the ongoing story of existence. You are never isolated. You are always in a dialogue with the infinite, and silence follows. The sense of time is returning, but it is no longer a source of pressure or anxiety. It is simply the medium in which you move, a slow and rhythmic progression of moments that are yours to inhabit. You have all the time you need to wake up, to stretch, and to meet the world on your own terms. The clock is a tool, but your breath is the truth. The orbit holds. The transition from the world of dreams to the world of facts is almost complete. The internal imagery has dissolved, replaced by the solid reality of the room around you. But you carry the peace of the night with you, a quiet reservoir of calm that you can tap into throughout the day. The sensorium has done its work, turning the raw energy of the dark into the strength of the light, and everything rests in its place. If your eyes remain open, another journey awaits, a day filled with light, texture, and sound, a new opportunity to witness the wonder of the physical world. But if sleep arrives again, you are already home, tucked safely into the quiet architecture of your own biology. The universe will continue its dance, and your senses will continue their quiet vigil, ensuring you are always connected, always safe, and always seen. You are a biological bridge, a witness to the stars, and a participant in the Earth's long, slow breathing. Every sensation you feel is a gift from the universe to itself, processed through the incredible machinery of your cells. Carry this sense of wonder with you, for it is the most honest way to inhabit the world. You belong here, in the light and in the dark, in the noise and in the silence. The night is folding its wings, and the first hints of color are beginning to touch the horizon of your mind. The story of the senses is an eternal one, a cycle that begins anew with every sunrise and finds its rest with every sunset. You are the narrator of this story, the one who feels the heat, hears the song, and sees the light. Rest now in the beauty of that knowledge. And still, the universe breathes. The quiet holds its shape, and the rhythm continues. Without effort, without end, you are resting in the heart of the great design, a masterpiece of perception and peace. The quiet is absolute, and the morning is a promise. Thank you for resting here tonight. Your presence keeps this circle of calm alive, and everything is as it should be.